As Lions fans, the draft is breathing down our necks. This week, we stopped talking about what Detroit should do and start doing it ourselves. Each one of us is going to take the GM chair for our assigned teams and make the call on every single first-round pick. When pick 17 hits, all of us go head-to-head with our Lions selection. You're on the clock, forward down the field.
Busts it outside left. Jameer down to the 10. Jameer to the 5. Jameer to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Hand off Berry. Skirts to the left side. Breaks the tackle. And he will take it in. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. That's what I'm talking about. It is caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, baby, what a play that time. Aiden Hutchinson read that and blew it up. Big time stand by that defense.
All right, beautiful Lions fans of planet Earth, welcome to Lions Gray Mains. My name is Chris Stone. I'm at castahead.net, and the two gentlemen joining me tonight for the inaugural Lions Gray Mains mock draft first round edition 1.0. My man, Dan Keener, with a brand new background with just a big old MCDC with sunglasses sign happening, as well as the Chief Intelligence Officer of Lions Optimism, my man DBC, dialing in from NOLA, New Orleans.
Nice.
Bringing the Cajun flavor, a little cayenne pepper tonight. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? We ready to get some mock draft action going?
Yeah.
You guys know this is my favorite time of the year.
It's like
we couldn't help ourselves the last 2 months.
Right. It's like it's like the period between Black Friday and Christmas, right? Like you guys are listen, for those of you who are chiming in and viewing tonight, and we see some folks that are joining from across the world here and YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all the places. The Gray Mains first got together around the draft. So there was a thing, I don't know if you remember this thing called AOL Instant Messenger. And we used to chime in and I would see D. Keener and I would see Brent Kreider, and everybody would be chiming in with their chats. And that's how we did and watched the Lions drafts in those years in the 90s and so forth. But boy, technology has taken a leap, and now this is what we're doing. We're showing it. And it's a beautiful thing. And you guys, this is your kind of, I don't want to say this is your Super Bowl because the Super Bowl is your Super Bowl, but you guys really know the draft.
It is our Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. That's true. That's true. So we're excited.
Hey, Chris, to bring up, weren't you Stoner Man?
Yes,
he was.
I was Stoner Man.
I remember.
Yes.
Stoner Man.
Yes,
on the original AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, it was
days.
Stoner Man 2001. Right, so that just tells you
mullet too, didn't you?
I was always business in the front, but I was Lions fan in the back. That's how that goes. Oh, folks, thanks for joining us. We're going to do this mock draft, and we're going to get right into it because this is probably going to take a minute. So if you've got any comments for us, as we go through this thing, as we start with, pick number 3, because 1 and 2 it pretty much is a done deal. In fact, we're going to tell you right now, we already have a consensus on what is going to be pick 1 and what is going to be pick 2. So we're not even going to discuss that because the 2 best players in the draft are going 1 and 2. And so that's just done. It's going to be Mendoza and it's going to be Reese. That's going to be 1 and 2. We're not even going to debate any of that. But if you have comments about any of the picks as we go through them, please chime in the chat wherever you're at. Let us know where you're joining us from. Welcome to Lions Gray Mains. Welcome to the community, and we're happy to have you here. So, as we always do, folks, at the top of every show, just to get you caught up, in case you didn't catch the Monday morning rundown on thegraymains.com, we're going to roll into the rundown. Dan Keener.
Yep. So I'm basically going to be essentially like Chris Berman doing the fastest 2 minutes at halftime on Monday Night Football. We just don't have time
Rumbling,
for this
bumbling,
crap here.
stumbling.
Exactly. All right. Bullet point 1. Campbell said owners meeting, no joy practices. I think it might be coming because of them beating the crap and all the injuries we've had, but I think they said pretty much they're not getting any more out of them than they would doing internal scrimmages and playing the starters longer during the preseason games. So that's our first bullet point. Second bullet point, the entire Lions media and a lot of the fans decided to have kittens over the Lions asking Ragnow to pay back up to $3 million of his signing bonus, which has been standard with them. They did it with Barry. They did it with Calvin. They did it with Ragnow. The one person that hasn't complained or said anything from what I saw is Frank Ragnow. So he bought his freedom. He not speaking on it, so we're moving on. Next step, next bullet point. Taylor Lewan, Decker. Sorry, Lewan. He played for Michigan and Tennessee. Dang it. Decker played for Ohio State and the Lions. It's Taylor Decker. Apparently, you need to get your phone numbers updated. There is a rumor / potential issue that, part of the disconnect between him and Brad Holmes is that he had the wrong phone number for Brad Holmes and he couldn't get a hold of him because I think Brad changed his phone number. So that may or may not be there, but that actually came from Justin Rogers, who interviewed Taylor Decker, and Rogers has Brad's phone number, and it's possible that when he interviewed Decker, they realized that maybe he did not have a current number for him. But
And Dan,
regardless,
Jen,
I thought it was kind of funny.
That is funny, but just for the record, I predicted the Lions were going to re-sign him, and everybody was like, "No, no."
Well,
no.
that plays into what you've got to say as far as the
next
jersey numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of jersey numbers. So if you really want to see the entirety of it, I wrote an article on it. It's out on thegraymains.com. Chris is flashing up the updated one after Avonte Maddox re-signed yesterday. I did have him, and I put in there some of the ones. What I thought was most interesting were not the numbers that have been given away, but the numbers that have not been given away. Anybody that's in purple on the screen, those numbers have not been reassigned yet, even though we have about 12 guys that are expecting them. Number 68, very prominent at the bottom of the screen. So I think they're leaving that open. Avonte Maddox's 29 was on the screen. It is now not on the screen, and it is now back on his locker. So whether that's something there or not, I don't know. But I just thought it was interesting, and they might be holding him up. There's several guys on here, the linebackers, Cunningham and Zeke Turner and Decker, and maybe Glasgow. I doubt it. Cologne, maybe, if they're looking for depth.
I think 92 is just because nobody wants that number. Davenport's not coming.
That's a jinx number. Pascal's done. But I think Reeder and the two linebackers are probably the ones that I think have the best chance at coming back still. And then again, you can look at the whole list on greatmans.com. Next bullet point, something really cool. Over the last 11 years, there has not been a Topps NFL trading card. It has been Panini that had the exclusive rights because the NFL, why sell it to multiple when you can extract blood from a stone and sell it to one, just like they did with the EA and Madden and, DirecTV with their streaming service. So Topps is back. I don't know if it's exclusive or not, but they are back, and I've already seen some of the cards that they're putting out there, and they are cool looking, especially if you've got a kid, maybe somebody in their teens or just preteen that might be interested in getting into it. Might be kind of cool to do this again because that'll be a nice family time thing there.
Brent knows that I still collect
cards.
Yes.
Yeah. I do a little bit, but invest in plastic card protectors.
Yes. Don't grab the edges when you pull them out of the packs.
Exactly.
Put them immediately into a card sleeve if they have some value.
Right.
I got two more bullet points. The first is if you go out our draft interactions page that we keep updated on thegraymains.com, it's at the very top of the list. We are up to 166 known discussions with potential drafted players across all of the various all-star games, the combine, top 30 visits, local day visits, there's even one that was done a virtual. I don't remember who it was. One player was done over Zoom. So, yeah, we're keeping it updated, and we've seen over in the past that Brad tends to draft and sign guys that they've talked to. So, unless they're really interested in trying to misdirect, you're probably going to see most of the players we bring in on this list at some point.
Yeah.
Our last,
just an
go ahead,
early
Chris.
one quick thing, Dan. Yeah, Marcus Newsom, appreciate you joining it. Looks like Tops maybe. Marcus has got some info. It's only rookies maybe for Tops.
No, it is the entirety of the NFL.
Okay.
From my understanding, they've been gone for 11 years and they are back in the game
Okay.
now. I think they've been showing rookies, but I've also seen I've seen some Tom Brady retro, they're not retro, but Tom Brady cards
Yep.
and some other cards from
Cool.
people that have been drafted in the last 11 years.
Dan, I'd love to know from you. I know you, and I'm scrolling this, and so for those who are just listening in their earballs on the audio podcast, we do this on video, and we're showing what we have here on thegraymanes.coms in terms of draft interactions. Number one, this means something. This means something because we've looked at this ever since Brad Holmes has been here. Interactions, pre-draft interactions mean something in terms of who Brad Holmes drafts. It's absolute math, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm curious just to hear from you, Dan. You're keeping track of this stuff. You're looking, okay, they've interacted with all this player, this player, this player, this player. Anything that just sort of jumps out at you from the data that you've collected?
Safety.
Safety.
Lots of safeties.
Okay.
Lots of safeties, and a lot of them are UDFA prospects.
Yeah.
But I think this year we will probably bring in more undrafted free agents than we have in the last 3 years. The first year he was here, I think we had 14. Last year we had, I don't even know if we got into double digits. I want to say there was 9 last year, But yeah, I think safety is a big one where there's a lot of depth there, the rules change, right? The kickoff rule has changed, which means you need safeties, linebackers, athletic linebackers, and maybe bigger cornerbacks. These are the guys that staff your kickoff kick coverage team now, because they got to get down there quick, they got to be good tacklers, and they got to be nimble.
Wow, they're thinking special teams
and receivers.
Maybe.
Yeah, we saw our third round pick last year on special teams as a gunner.
Yeah, and we're pretty set at wide receiver, but I don't think they brought many of those in. But you're right, Brent. Receiver is huge too, because we've got the 2 kids in Meeks and I can't remember the other kid's name we drafted, but we got those 2 plus Tesla, and they brought a couple guys in. Dortch, and is it Dortch or Barch is the O lineman. Dortch is the wide receiver. So yeah, that they're looking for guys constantly. Just because you were drafted does not mean you're guaranteed a spot. They're constantly churning the bottom of that roster.
Cool.
And then the last note I have, which leads us into tonight's show, is the draft is going back to Sin City. Everybody must have had a heck of a time out there a couple years ago. So the second time in years, they're going to be hosting the draft in Las Vegas. So that's pretty good. Pretty good if you want to go out there, because it is fun and there's a lot to do out there. But this will be interesting to see that they're going to try and get back into a semi-rotation of places, the new stadium, and then maybe 2 or 3 places that they'll rotate through again. So,
well, it makes sense it makes sense they go back to Detroit given the attendance records that were set.
Yeah. well, we'd have to be sucky again to be able to get those top draft picks, and not be at the bottom where Brad's trading picks away and we may not draft in the first round.
I mean, what's the over-under on the number of jokes related to gambling on, I mean, seriously, it's like, although at this point, Vegas used to be the epicenter of gambling. Now they have practically everywhere. So,
and I'm just spitballing totally. I have no inside info. I would not be shocked if Vegas paid a hefty retainer fee to bring them back, because I'm sure the amount of attention and money that came into the city that weekend is something similar to the Consumer Electronics Show, maybe SEMA, some of the largest trade shows that go on there. And Vegas is turning into a destination location for sports and for big events like this, because honestly, as you just said, Chris, anybody can gamble from their seat of their chair.
Right.
You don't need to go anywhere anymore. And there's local casinos in every state that the tribes run or whoever runs it, and
Waterways
Vegas
on
is not that.
waterways.
Yeah.
Well, people can
So-
gamble on anything. Right now, Marcus Newsom is gambling on whether or not what's the over-under on the length of our show tonight is 1 hour and 3 minutes.
Over.
So that's
Take the
that's the over-under. So, boy, that was the quickest rundown that we've ever done, because we know we have a bulky show ahead of us, gentlemen. In fact, Marcus is giving us all of his picks, and we're going to get to that, Marcus. We appreciate it. And if you're out there, we see there's a lot of folks that are viewing. Welcome in, and if you've got any thoughts on our picks that we're making, or any thoughts on what you feel like the Lions will be selecting at number 17, jump in. We'll pop you into the stream, and if you've got the guts, maybe even Brent Kreider will talk to you. So you never know what could happen. So let's roll into our inaugural mock draft, first round for Lions Gray Mains. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually, like, if you're a kind of a draft nerd, like some of us here are on the stream, like, so go over to profootballnetwork.com/mock-draft and just check this thing out. It's pretty cool. It's fun to just kind of do it. And I know Brent has been nerding out galore. I think Brent, you had 328 trades in the first round. I think that was what you did.
He traded. He did the opposite of Ditka and traded all of our picks away for future draft picks next year.
There you go.
No players, just future
hey,
picks.
Chris, we were going to play a drinking game, and I'm not saying that.
Oh,
Trade.
amazing. Let me I'm also running with scissors tonight, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm running with some scissors tonight and doing a few things. So we have some new viewers on Vertical, on YouTube, and soon Instagram as well. So let me just get things squared away there. And thank you, Marcus. We are all nerds. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go through and just do a first round. And each one of us have teams that we've been assigned by Brent. Thank you for handling that. And Dan is the man that is the Wizard of Oz tonight. This is his screen that we're looking at tonight. And so we're just going to start with the first round. I don't have any special Roger Goodell or chimes or anything else that YouTube's going to strike us on. We're just going to start on this thing. But as I said earlier, pick number 1 and pick number 2 are no-brainers. So let's just go ahead and get them off the board. Number 1, quarterback from Indiana, Fernando Mendoza, going to the Las Vegas Raiders. We spoke about Las Vegas. Like, don't even fight us on this. This is happening. Don't tell me it's Ty Simpson. It is Fernando Mendoza. He's going to the Raiders. It's just happening, and like I don't want to hear it.
Done.
It's
I can't
done.
change it. It's done.
It's done. And
if I screw up, it's done.
Pick number 2 is what a lot of us feel like is absolutely the best athlete overall in the draft. Phenomenal player, and the Jets are going to love him. And that is the edge from Ohio State, Arvell Reese, going to the New York Jets. There's no question that these two, we're not going to talk about it, right?
It's like 95% chance each of them, 100% for Mendoza, and
so you're telling me there's a
Reese.
chance, Dan. You're telling me
there's
there's
you didn't get that graphic up? Come on, man.
Exactly. So next up, Dan Keener,
Yes,
your
sir.
pick for the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, we're playing this straight. There's no trades. We're doing this like we should do it. Although the temptation in me is to send Arizona, who deserved it more than anybody, overdrafting Ty Simpson, because these guys simply cannot draft a quarterback. They draft a bust, there's a basket case, and they draft a midget, and they're both gone. But I think what's going to happen is looking at who they need, their top things are tackle, quarterback, edge. I think they're going to take the big offensive tackle from Miami, Francis, and I have no idea how to pronounce his name.
Maui-Goa.
Maui-Goa. And that's what I'm going to take and give
that's how we're going to say
Cardinals. That's what we're saying.
We're going to say it.
Done deal.
We're going to say it. Apologies to the Maui-Goa family if we
Sorry,
screwed that up.
Francis.
Yes.
Lighten up, Francis.
Lighten up. There we go. It's Stripes reference early on this. This is amazing. Bill Murray, sorry your team lost. Sorry, not sorry. Go Blue. All right, here we go. Next up, we have the pick for the Tennessee Titans from Brent.
Well, the Cardinals could go a lot of directions. They've got holes all over the place, but what they desperately need is a difference maker, a playmaker. And I've increasingly seen this. It's something that I thought would happen a couple weeks ago, but I've increasingly been seeing forecasting Jeremiah Love going to the Cardinals. So I think with this selection,
Cardinals
you're the Titans.
And so hopefully
I'm sorry, the Titans. I'm sorry, it's the Titans. Yeah, the Titans.
You put together the order. I don't know.
The Titans. Yeah, the Titans are going to select Jeremiah Love and shore up their running game. They've got their quarterback. They've got some, some decent position players, but they need a difference maker, and Jeremiah Love's going to give them that.
Excellent pick. All right, I'm up. And the New York Giants are on the clock. The New York Giants have tons of needs for sure, whether it's offensive linemen, defensive linemen. They could use an edge. They could use a cornerback. But I think at this point, you're going to need a wide receiver that you can pair with the fantastic wide receiver that they already have there in New York. So I believe that the pick for the New York Giants at number 5, Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
I'm sorry. Okay. The with a lowercase t.
All right. Well, that takes us to the mistake by the lake, the Cleveland Clowns. I could say that because I'm from Ohio, and I don't like the Cleveland Browns. I don't like the Bengals either. And you took my pick. So the Browns, they have no quarterbacks, even though they're paying more for quarterbacks than any other team in the NFL, but they don't have any. So I was going to give them a wide receiver. However,
so some good ones.
I'm not giving them a quarterback. There are some good ones. I got to be honest with you. I think what's going to happen here, and this is a little tough for me because it is a fringe need. Going to last. They're going to take one of the guys from down the road, and it won't be Caleb Downs. I believe they're going to take Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State.
Excellent.
I toyed with Bailey as he is sitting there, but it's really hard it'd be perfect to bring him in to be the replacement when the superstar retires and that's off the books. But I think Sonny Styles helps them more now because they just got a nice Swearinger last year. But the rest of them, Jock retired medically, and they need a playmaker. So I'm
Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State, to the Cleveland Browns at pick number 6. I don't hate it. I really, listen, at this point, yes, absolutely top 5 player. And you're right. It's like, okay, they don't get Carnell Tate, but they can get a great wide receiver when they're picking later in the first round, right? Don't the Browns have multiple first round picks?
They got a second pick.
Okay,
and
there's going to be some great wide receivers there. So
there is.
Awesome. All right. So next up, Brent, you're picking at number 7 for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, this is tough because Washington is in a situation where if you look at their needs, they've got a bunch of needs across a lot of positions: wide receiver, cornerback, edge, offensive line, and running back. Top running backs off the board, anybody they would ever consider. It appears that I do love David Bailey, Texas Tech, and I think that the fact that I wouldn't say fallen to this point. I would say that the reality is that he is just a fantastic edge rusher, and he is clearly in my mind the number one edge rusher on the board. So I'm going to go with David Bailey to the Washington Commanders.
Wow, Commanders will be happy that guy fell there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. I'm kind of feeling like my Carnell Tate pick really affected the next two picks. Am I right about that?
You did absolutely for me.
I think a lot of people are down on Carnell Tate. The dude is just he's the best wide receiver, no question. Brent, I think we lost your camera here. Are you still with us?
No, I was just pausing it for
okay.
a second,
All
trying
right.
to see it,
All right.
if I could clear up.
He was just so happy with that David Bailey pick at number 7 that you just decided to just go. I don't know. Did you take your shirt off
Brad
there
Holmes
and
off the screen?
turn your camera? Like, what happened?
Just trying to keep up with you guys.
Oh, amazing. All right. We are now, the New Orleans Saints are on the clock at pick number 8. The Saints, folks, they've got a ton of needs. This is a team that, just throw a dart at a position. They need it. And we talked about how deep this draft is at the wide receiver position. There is some amazing players that are left here. Caleb Downs is a player. Ruben Bain is a massive player, regardless of his short arms, as people say. But I am going to say that the New Orleans Saints are going to pick wide receiver USC Makai Lemon with pick number 8.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Chris, we're getting some reports that our main screen's a little fuzzy.
Some reports that our main screen is a little fuzzy.
Yeah, when you're on this screen with the three of us in the draft, it's blurry for me. It's blurry for Mike, who's in the chat on the side, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, and no big deal.
Where are you guys watching it from?
Okay. On my monitor from my computer.
Okay.
Zoom.
Well,
it comes in and out. Somewhere there's a bad connection somewhere. So
that's why I turned my camera off for a second, Chris, just to see if
yeah. Oh, that
if
was
I
you,
could clear it up.
brought that up. Oh, that was you, not Mike. Okay. Yeah, there was some squelching earlier too, but we can plug ahead. It's my pick, right? Chiefs.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Brent's clean. It's just this joint picture. If you want to switch it to me and put me on camera, when you switch to the individuals, it's great. It's just this one feed. So, all right. Well, the Chiefs are on the clock, and not a huge Chiefs guy. I know that they need some playmakers, both on offense and defense. And honestly, I think this is the place where, I'd be tempted to give them Jordan Tyson or Mansour Delane, but I think I'm going to go ahead and give them Ruben Bain as the edge, because they do need an edge. It is one of their top needs, along with wide receiver. But wide receivers are a lot easier to find in free agency and after teams start cutting players at the at the end of camp than an edge is. So I'm going to give the Chiefs Ruben Bain Jr.
And I think they would have been interested in the Miami offensive tackle if
100%.
he hadn't gone. So
yeah, they got to replace Taylor, right? Didn't he leave?
Yep.
Or they let him leave?
Yeah, let him leave, right?
Who is up for the Bengals? This is you, Brad.
The Bengals. All right, so we all know that the Bengals would have loved Ruben Bain because they had a defensive end that signed inside their division.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at the Bengals needs, right? Defensive line, linebacker, offensive line, DB, and edge. And look, at this point in the draft, there's hands down, in my mind, the top player on the board would be Caleb Downs. And,
that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
And so Caleb Downs to me would be the Bengals pick here based on the fact that he fell from, the guy was an athlete. He had fantastic combine, fantastic career at Ohio State, and was a real difference maker after he transferred in to Ohio State. So Caleb Downs for the Bengals.
All right, it's all done. On to the Finns once Chris comes back from.
I'm here. I don't know what
everybody's
everybody's seeing in terms of blurry. I just went and checked all the broadcasts. We're not seeing any.
Great.
Maybe it's eternally then.
It's me, guys. Remember I'm traveling, so having the internet here at the
Holiday Inn Express.
All right. So all right. So catch me up, guys. Makai Lemon at 8.
Ruben Bain Jr.
Ruben Bain at for the Chiefs at 9.
Kansas City. Yep.
Caleb Downs for Ohio State at 10 to the Bengals. And
Correct.
we are at the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins would love a wide receiver since they just booted one. Actually, a few.
It's their number one need, right? It's their number one need.
It is their number one need.
But the last 2 picks that
Everywhere.
I made, I made wide receiver picks. So I don't.
Come on, Millen.
I don't.
Pick it.
Yeah, right.
Pick it.
Exactly.
You know you want it. Pick a wide
give me
receiver.
Mike Williams out of USC. Charles Rogers,
which Mike
Michigan
Williams?
State. Right.
He did take Calvin Johnson. He got the last one right. At third time's a charm, literally.
It's do the Dolphins love Jordan Tyson here or not, right? Chris, I think they have needs.
They do need a wide receiver. But I'm gonna make a pick listen. I feel like the pick that I made early with the Giants with Carnell Tate kind of set you guys a flutter. So I'm going to set another pick, a little bit of a flutter as well. The Miami Dolphins at pick number 11 select Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle,
Really?
Georgia.
Oh, there you go.
I would have taken Delaney, but that's just me.
Hey,
that's one of their big needs. They do need line too, man. Their line is
That's
terrible.
right. That's a need. I think he's a stud. You can't at this point in the draft, number 11, got to take him.
Yeah.
All right. So next on the board, pick number 12, Dan Keener, your favorite team outside of the Detroit Lions, I'm sure, is the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 12. Have fun with this one, Dan.
I mean, it's really a no-brainer for them. Their number one needs cornerback, and both top cornerbacks are on the board. Jermon McCoy showed that he can run after that ACL last year, but he did miss all year with it.
Yep.
But I think Mansour Delane is going to be the
Good
pick
call.
here
Yep.
because the Miami passed, and I think that is their pick, and it will help bolster that defense. So Mansour Delane from LSU.
There it is. All right. At pick number 13, the Los Angeles Rams. This is a pick that they got from the Falcons. Lots of needs for the Rams. Wide receiver, offensive line, edge, linebacker, and DB. But I have a feeling, Brent, DBC, you might not be looking at those needs, and you may pick somebody that isn't on that list.
Person back.
Well, we know that the Rams.
No, way too early for that. We're not doing a sixth-round draft.
The Rams had 2 big issues last year: defense and Stafford got hit a lot. Stafford got banged up quite a bit, and for the Rams to accomplish their 2 goals, they made a trade for a cornerback. I think they're going to go with Spencer Fano of Utah to shore up that front and to give Stafford more protection.
No concern that their number one wide receiver, who's been injured the last couple of years and spent the entire offseason in rehab, needs to be replaced.
Puka Nacua will be ready to suit up at the beginning of the year. I really look. This is something that I think that
I think Terry Anderson loves your pick, Brent.
Yeah. Well,
did you say Fano? Spencer Fano?
Spencer Fano.
Fano.
I want to make sure I put the right one in here because it's like I said, if I choose the wrong
that was
one,
not the pick I thought you would make, but listen,
Yeah.
this is why we do this.
I know that they can find a receiver later in the draft that as a potential flyer like the Lions did last year. There's quite a few receivers that I think would fit the bill, but you can't create the talent that Spencer is there in the first round at offensive tackle.
Woo. This is not going the way I thought it would, Dan. This is interesting. And as we approach pick 17, the Lions are coming up in a few picks. For those of you that are in the chat, Terry Anderson, Marcus Newsom, and others, Terry says he agrees with you, Brent. He did a LOL. He probably was laughing at the fact that I was trying to fix the blurry screen or whatever. But Terry, we appreciate you joining, my friend.
I think it was Dan's comment. He was I was LOLing at what Dan.
And Dan, whatever you're doing on your screen,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, we're seeing that
Am I
on
sharing
your
that?
screen. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought
no,
that was a
no worries.
tab.
John Groth, we're not doing any trades, and we know trades happen. Trust me, like you are now like. Can you see Brent jittering right now? He's like a meth addict tweaking out right now. Like he can't wait to start trading down. This is a no trades first round.
We're gonna do next time a trades draft.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
I don't want to cause Chris any.
Yeah, that'll be a 16-hour first round draft for sure. Boy, that was not how I thought it would go, because next up for me at pick number 14 is the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens have a number of needs. And boy, I thought for sure at that point I was going to start looking at offensive linemen. I was going to start looking at edge rushers. Obviously the Ravens probably need another wide receiver. They've got a stud already, but they do need another wide receiver. So Jordan Tyson looks really, really, boy, that looks juicy at that point. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead.
Did they just lose likely to free agency?
They did. And so I'm just going to speak out loud. If I'm the GM right now, is it still Ozzie Newsome who's doing this for the Ravens? Ozzie Newsome?
I think he retired.
He retired. Yeah, I think so.
So I'm thinking right now, the Ravens aren't like this team that chases these guys who are freaks in the combine, that are athletic freaks. So you got Kenyon Sadiq out there, the tight end from Oregon, I really thought that was the Rams pick. I thought for sure that was going to be the Rams pick. So it's really between Kenyon Sadiq and Jordan Tyson for me. And so knowing this is a deep draft for wide receivers, I'm going to go Kenyon Sadiq to the Ravens at pick number 14.
Yeah, I think that's the right choice. Losing likely. And the stud that they've had at tight end for 10 years now, he's not getting any younger.
That's right.
Andrews has been an absolute stud. He's started to have a few nagging.
Well, Sadiq's is a different player than Andrews. Like you can have Andrews and Sadiq on the same team and just and be fine, especially in that type of offense. So
yep, and that was the dilemma I had with the Browns. Do I take Bailey to be the air, or do I get somebody else that helps while he still has gas in the tank? And that's the route I went. So Kenyon Sadiq of Oregon going to the Ravens at 14.
All right, at pick number 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock. Dan Keener, Tampa Bay at 15.
Whew. Yep. They they need D-line, O-line, cornerbacks, linebackers. They need a little bit of everything. I think I'm going to make I don't know. I think I'm going to go and do something that may screw up the Lions pick from what I've been seeing. I've seen 2 mock drafts in the last 24 hours. I've been picking this kid for the Lions, of all places. But I'm going to not let that happen.
Don't say it.
I am going to take, I have no idea how to pronounce his first name, Ione from the offensive guard from Penn State.
Oh, okay. Olaviega Ione.
Vega.
Yes, something like that.
Viega.
Yes.
Ola Vega Ione.
Ola Vega.
Passport, please. Yep, and he is in there. So there you go. So interior offensive lineman for Tampa Bay.
Great pick. Great pick for the Bucs for sure. That's a guy that's it's going to be a solid pick for years. At number 16, the New York Jets. This is a pick from the Colts. And so this is the second pick for the Jets in the draft. At pick number 16, I kind of know where this is going to go. I have a feeling. I wish this was my pick because I know where I would go. DBC, who do we got for the Jets at pick number 16?
Don't make me find this idiot.
We know the Jets. We know the Jets have needs all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
the Jets. The Jets are going to Jets, though, right? So with this pick, I think the Jets are going to be drafting Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama. They're just going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do a Jets thing here, and anybody that loves Ty Simpson is going to try to trade up above the Jets to steal him.
We can
and the Jets may even trade up, right?
Yeah, I mean, normally I always just complain about the overdrafting of quarterbacks, but at 16, I think that's about the right spot for Simpson. He's proven he's capable, right? And he's got a chance to learn behind who'd they sign from the Arizona? What's his name? The veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
Anyway, that guy.
Yeah.
It's not Teddy because we got Teddy. Who's the other guy that's like him and Teddy have been like banging around the league for the last 20 years. He was in Seattle and then they got rid of him and
I could see him. I just can't.
Yeah. Anyway, you get a chance to learn behind a veteran, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is exactly the pick that I would have made. I can hear Dan Orlovsky telling Brent just how amazing he is for picking that right there.
Getting that 5% discount from his CAA agent who also reps
exactly
Ty Simpson.
Yeah. You can't, listen, this is what teams do in the first round that have multiple picks in the first round that know they need a quarterback. You're going to take a shot at a guy that might be the second best quarterback, but might be a second round talent. And so
get the 5th-year option.
Yeah, not a bad idea to do this. Right to your point, Dan. Not a bad idea to bring in a guy that you can listen. Expectations for the first year, but expectations for the first year in New York, a little different than the expectations in the first year in Tampa Bay or Carolina or these things. So we'll see how Ty Simpson may do in New York, but I think that's exactly the way I would have picked it. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
How many games did the Jets lose last year by 10 points or less? And it was because they could not score any points. It was absolutely a situation where their defense okay, and if they could have not turned the ball over, been able to run the ball and throw the ball down the field, the Jets would have been 8-8, or 8-9, 7-10 versus drafting as high as they draft.
All right, we made it this far, and we are here at pick number 17. And so this is the Detroit Lions. And this is not like each one of us will make the pick. I don't think we're going to maybe agree on what this pick will be, but we're going to tell Dan, maybe if 2 out of the 3 is one particular player, maybe that's the player that goes in here. I don't know, but
I think we're going to be unanimous. Just being.
Let's see. Dan, let's let you go first. Who are the Detroit Lions picking at this point?
Well, like I said, if I wouldn't have taken Ione a couple picks ago, I probably would have actually put him here for the same reason that I would suggest this pick. And Penny Sewell is going to move to left tackle. It's a foregone conclusion. There's really 3 options here. You've got Thieneman, you've got, well, 4: Falk, Proctor, and Mesidor. Those guys right there.
What about
And
Lomu?
unless
A
I don't see
Hennecore.
him on my screen, do you? No, those guys are. Hennecore's got some injury concerns. They're down here. But the reason I would take Proctor over either of those tackles is because he played left tackle at Alabama. This kid is a natural right tackle. He's big, he's strong, he's nimble, and he will be going up against one of the best defensive ends in practice every day to get better and better. Iron sharpens iron. I think Caden Proctor is going to be the pick because there are way too many guys. The two edges. You get the Missouri edge. There's a lot of kids in round 2 that might still be there for us to bring in as that other defensive end to be our, to groom to become there. So I would take Caden Proctor.
Brent?
Yeah, I agree with everything Dan said. I know it's rare that we agree, but as I said a few weeks back, imagine the push that the Lions can get, and I think the Lions would draft Ione if he was available at this position because Ione is another road grader. He's going to be a Pro Bowl guard that probably in all right should be drafted higher than where the Lions would pick. But adding that kind of beef up front, and we know the Lions want to be able to run the football, and they're gonna want to add a guy like that at right tackle to be the offensive tackle of the future. 5-year option, 5th-year option with him, and even if the guy were to stumble, you can move him to guard. You can absolutely, because where he has struggled is sometimes with the speed on the edge. So you can move him to guard, and we could play. The kid we got from, that's right, the kid we got from Miami, and move him inside to guard.
That pick strengthens this offensive line.
There's no
so
question the Lions need an offensive lineman. They need a tackle, and I think we've discussed this on multiple shows, guys. Like right tackle or left tackle at this point doesn't matter because Penei Sewell is moving if he needs to left tackle. If we draft a left tackle, he's going to stay at right tackle. But like it's happening there. It's really difficult to look past a lot of edge talent, whether it's Keldrick Falk, whether it's Akeem Mesidor, who is a lot of these guys are a lot of people are picking these edge rushers to the Lions here, and that still is a spot, for us. I don't know about the Ione pick thing, that's it. You guys, I feel like you guys feel like that's, boy, if he was here right now, we would pick this guy. I don't know. I feel like tackle's a bigger need for us. So all that to say, I'm agreeing with you guys. Caden Proctor is the pick for the Lions at number 17. Ladies and gentlemen, there is our tackle. And then on the other side, bookending, that will be Penei Sewell blocking for Jahmyr Gibbs and the other running back we're getting in this draft. I'm kidding. Like that's a joke.
Mike Washington, Red's pick.
Dan, you're up. Minnesota Vikings at pick number
Hogs.
18.
Who's the absolute worst player I could give them? Because they don't have.
Oh,
a GM,
come
and
on,
it doesn't sound like they're
come
gonna sign a
on.
GM.
Come on. You're the GM. You're hired as the Minnesota Vikings GM. They need a safety, right? They need
They do need a
a
safety.
defensive
They
lineman.
finally got rid of the guy that's been tormenting us for 20 years. It feels like. So
Well,
yeah, they
well.
also need a wide receiver if I remember correctly.
Yes,
Didn't
they
they
do.
just lose their
Yes,
number
they do.
3
And
wide receiver?
Addison,
Was
what's
actually
going
their
on with
number 2
Addison?
wide
Yep.
receiver.
Yep.
So, that's something to consider. Is you got Tyson sitting out here. Is he the bigger kid? Because there's the 2 other wide receivers. One was smaller. It's like
Tyson's
6'4".
I'm
6'4".
yeah. I mean,
3?
Tyson's been
I don't wanna
dropping in
click
this
on this. I don't
draft.
wanna
This is
screw it up.
crazy.
He is.
He's
It's
a
all about
top.
needs,
he's a
right?
top
I mean-
15 player in a lot of
Yeah.
drafts.
I mean, well, that's why Sadiq dropped, right? But yeah,
I think Tyson's a
know-
great pick there. Well, I know what I would pick, but I mean, it's your thing.
I'm taking Thieneman
Yeah,
for them
that's
because
it.
they need it. Their defense
That's a great pick.
is getting old. It really is. It's bad. It's getting old. I mean, they're going to struggle next year as they transition. So, Quezzy did them no favors. He wasted a lot of draft picks and draft capital and did not restock this. I'm going to go ahead and go with Thieneman.
All right. Welcome, Mr. DAB313. Welcome clearly from the 313. And Terry Anderson says, best player available. Yeah, absolutely best player available. All right, Carolina Panthers on the clock at number 19. Brent, a lot of needs here. Offensive line, wide receiver, cornerback, right? Panthers got a lot.
Who's the top receiver on the board? Who are you just talking about?
Yeah, this is
Panthers
like
are
easy pick. Yeah.
Go Tyson. Yep.
Yeah, they're running to the podium, right?
Yep.
Jordan
I got a
Tyson,
short
wide
jump, too, on
receiver,
this.
Arizona State to the Carolina Panthers at number 19. Oh, God. I have to pick the Cowboys.
Carolina, I bring in Diego Pavia for a visit, and I'm sitting here thinking that is great because it gives him another wide receiver that he can look up to, or another quarterback he can look up to.
Guys, the more I do this,
All right, bad dad jokes aside,
the more I do
Tyson is
this,
a pick, right?
Yeah. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State, going to the Carolina Panthers at number 19. The more I look at this, guys, like I haven't fully gone through one of these in full disclosure, but the more I go through this, I get down here and I'm like, holy crap, how are these players available at this point?
Yeah.
How are
Don't
these?
forget, Dallas already took a cornerback.
Right? So that's like, to Brent's point, like trade down because we can get so many great players. This one's easy. This is another run to the podium moment for me. The Dallas Cowboys at pick number 20. This is from the Packers. Run to the podium and select Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee.
Well, they took a cornerback already in the first round, remember?
Yeah.
Took Mansour Delaney
Yeah.
at 12. So you're going to go with the second cornerback?
That's right. The Detroit Lions picked.
I think the Cowboys.
We did. We took Air Arnold, trade up for him, and then took Rakestraw in the second.
Yeah.
Got 1 for 2. 1 for 3.
I think best player available.
I mean,
like, how is this guy available?
Yeah.
Go run and get him. I mean, I thought about Keldrick Falk at this point, which is still available. But this is what I'm getting.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Chris, but I do think Messidor and Falk would come into play here.
Yeah.
I'm just quibbling a little bit because the Cowboys, they've really struggled against the pass. They've really struggled. And to add, I mean, remember 1 year they added 2 quarterbacks, one in the draft and another in the supplemental draft, but it's not unheard of for them to do things like that, double up on positions of need. So
Whose pick is it mine? Wow.
We are now at pick number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dan Keener, you're on the clock.
Boy. Took my
The heck?
Someone took my pick. The Jets took my pick for the Steelers. If Ty Simpson does not go to the Jets, the Steelers most likely will take him as a quarterback. However, he did go to the Jets. And then Thieneman also went. They still need wide receiver, who also just went. So all these guys that are sliding, the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting there going, God, this is great. And then 6 picks, they lose every one of the guys they probably would have picked. So I'm not going to reach for a linebacker. I'm not taking Allen here, even though that's one of their big needs. Boy, this is probably the first toughest picks I've got to.
Yeah, John.
You know what?
Both guys are gone in our draft, but yeah, Jermod McCoy would be a good pick for the Steelers for sure.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of actually debating between three guys, and I'll just throw this out there for you guys. You know, they have just an absolute anchor, a defensive tackle they've had for double-digit years. The guy's been all-pro from Ohio State, and they could use a replacement in the pipeline for him to keep that D-line going. So Caden McDonald is definitely is an option here. They also have a need at wide receiver. Like, seems like they always have a wide receiver. And the great thing about Omar Cooper is he's not a Pittsburgh wide receiver, which means he's not going to lose his freaking mind and do something really stupid like every other wide receiver does for the Steelers. So he's in play here. Who's not in play are either of these edges. I don't know Watt, and I can't remember who at the other side is, but they don't need an edge. This clearly is going to be a trade-up point. If this was a scenario here, I think the Steelers would be fielding calls like crazy.
Yep.
Having said all that, boy, I think I'm going to throw a little bit of a weird one here, and I'm going to take the kid from on the other side of the state. I'm going to take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo, for them because they do have a need in their defensive backfield. We just signed one of their safeties, Clark, right? So I'm going to take McNeil-Warren to come into their backfield, become the next great Pittsburgh safety.
All right. So next up, pick number 22, Brent, Los Angeles Chargers.
Chargers run to the podium and draft Kendrick Falk.
Yep. Yeah. Unbelievable drop here.
They couldn't have had it fall any better for them.
All right. Next up for me, the Philadelphia Eagles at pick number 23. I'm going to say Akeem Mesidor.
Player on the board.
I'm sorry, Akeem Mesidor, edge from Miami at pick number 23 for the Eagles.
He does not play for Georgia. You should have taken C.J. Allen. Keep the band together. You know how that is.
What?
All right. Well, back to the Browns. They've drafted so many Georgia players. Their entire D-line and front, like their front seven, had like 6 kids from Georgia, like the Kobe Dean and Jalen Carter and the other kid. They've drafted Georgia players like crazy.
Yeah, but I think Mesidor's too.
Oh, absolutely.
Too tempting a pick there and a position of need. But I get your joke.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
the Eagles have drafted like 7 Georgia players in the past 4 years.
Okay.
Defensive guys, all defensive guys.
The speeding tickets.
That's one of them.
Yep.
All right.
So
Browns from the Jaguars.
You took my pick. I'm just gonna flat out say it, because remember that comment I made about at the beginning of the draft when I was debating between Sonny Styles and David Bailey and about getting the long-term replacement. That would have been Mesidor. Now, although that's not that long-term considering he's 25, but that would have been the. So with the Browns, we're down to offensive tackle, wide receiver, quarterback. I don't know how on the quarterback they have like 8.
They don't have
an
one.
Offensive line. I mean, it's all offensive line. Wide receiver, again, dime a dozen. You could find guys. They're in no position to get a guy this deep in the draft when they can get somebody that's going to produce the agency. So, or deeper in a draft. So I'm going to go with offensive lineman here. And I'm going to take Caleb Lomu from Utah to plug into that offensive line somewhere.
Huge
tackle,
drop.
Guard, wherever somebody needs him somewhere. So
that's unbelievable that he was still there. Right? A lot of people had Lomu go way early.
In the consensus. I think his problem is that he's kind of lanky, like good pass blocker, but maybe not necessarily a good run blocker. Or maybe that's the from Clemson. One of those two. That was kind of
that's Miller. Yeah, that's Miller.
All right, Brent, your favorite team, the Chicago Bears, at pick number 25.
Chicago Bears have holes all over the place. The Bears need a defensive tackle. they're going to go Caden McDonald, Ohio State.
And that is funny. That is exactly who I would have picked, because they know they need to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows better than Ben Johnson about running the ball with the Lions. And frankly, the Packers and Vikings do it decently too. So
Nobody was more impacted by free agency losses than the Bears.
I know. And they're sitting on, they have 250 grand in salary cap. Does not include the money they need for their rookie pool still. And they don't have a full roster yet. So good luck.
All right,
luck.
so the Buffalo Bills at pick number 26. A lot of needs for the Buffalo Bills. A lot of these edge rushers are gone at this point. Probably you're going to, it's too soon to pick a guy like Zion Young, probably, although that is tempting at that point, or a Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. But I think what I'm going to do is, for the Buffalo Bills, C.J. Allen, linebacker, Georgia.
Agree.
Houston's really upset at you, by the way, Chris. for
Yes.
that.
All right,
right.
so San Francisco at pick number 27, Dan Keener.
Yeah, so 49ers on the board. They have a lot of needs that are not pressing needs, like depth needs, right? They need to fill news and the primary backups, things like that. So, looking at what they have, they're listed as tackle, which frankly, there aren't any tackles. Hennecore maybe, but I don't think he's in a position to go to them. Wide receiver with Cooper sitting there is absolutely an option. Again, no offensive guards around this spot. You got Young, but they still have Bosa. And there's really no safeties kind of around this spot. So, looking at this, I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to actually go get the national champion wide receiver to replace the guy that bailed on them and was taking selfies as he was off driving by Levi Stadium. I don't remember his name, but he probably won't play in the NFL much longer. But Omar Cooper Jr., I think, is going to go there. And the benefit is that he comes from the Midwest, so he's used to high tension lines. So I don't see him having any issues with his bones or muscles degrading due to the substation next door. So Omar Cooper Jr.,
Oh, my God.
wide receiver, Indiana to San Francisco.
All that to say,
I was going to say,
I think, are you talking?
that was about
Are you
as
talking about Bourne?
You
Are you
guys
talking
don't know about the fact that they've been trying to blame a substation
Yes.
right next door
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the 49ers practice field. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah,
We get all these high tension lines here in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, I don't have any idea what that is.
all right, pick 28, Houston Texans, Brent
He's
Kreider.
impervious.
Sorry I took your pick
All right.
with C.J. Allen, Brent.
No, what's interesting is that the Texans like this type of player. This is a little bit earlier maybe than what folks would have projected. I think this guy's rated somewhere around the 35th player ish. And man, you watch the guy. He would be a great Detroit Lions player. But I'm absolutely convinced that the Houston wants to draft a linebacker that can cause turnovers and make tackles, and that's Jake Rodriguez of Texas Tech. The guy is just a
44
turnover machine.
does not equate to 32.
We're looking at the consensus list, right?
We are on the
And
consensus
fans.
list. That is
Listen,
Yeah, and
listen. You love a player, you go get a player, right? Love a player, go get a player. Jacob Rodriguez. This is the first quote unquote reach, I would say. There's been a couple of reaches,
100%.
but but Jacob Rodriguez, probably mid-second round, I think, for a lot of for a lot of drafts. To the Houston, listen, I love the player. Love the player.
Yeah.
Do I love the player at 28th overall? I don't know. But listen,
we don't have any trades.
Let's be
And
honest,
look,
Chris.
their needs are picked over.
Well,
I mean,
let's be honest, though. He's strong and he's fast, so
Sure.
he can run out to help pick C.J. Stroud's ass up off the carpet because he doesn't have any offensive linemen.
Yeah.
There was
You
some offensive
bypassed
linemen available.
3 of them.
Yep.
Again, is a Hennecore. I don't know.
You got Miller, you got Hennecore, you got the interior guy, and Chase Basantis.
Don't be surprised if Houston drafts him.
Okay. All right.
The Chiefs.
Next up, pick number 29, Kansas City. This is a pick from the Rams. This one's easy for me. This one, I'm running to the podium, and I'm selecting cornerback out of Clemson, Avion Terrell for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Done.
Boom. Done.
All right. Miami Dolphins. Earlier.
Yeah, this
They
one
probably
is.
should have taken a wide receiver. They took a tackle.
Is this like their third pick of the first? How many picks do they have?
They had 2.
Okay.
They had 2. There's like
why do I
5
feel like
teams
they've
that have 2
picked
picks.
more than once? Okay. Dolphins.
Yes. So the Dolphins took an offensive tackle first round of the draft for earlier draft, which is fine because they have needs on their offensive line, but they have needs at wide receiver. They have no playmakers, and which is shocking considering how much money they threw at wide receiver position in free agency not less than like 4 or 5 years ago when they took Tyreek Hill and drafted a kid in the first round and somebody else. So the big question is, and I'm going to throw it out to you two to give me some help here. Casey Concepcion or Denzel Boston? I don't know much about these guys
Concepcion.
in terms of size.
It's Concepcion.
Is he the smaller, quicker, fast guy?
Who's the other wideout?
That's who they need to replace.
You're talking about?
Denzel Boston. Kid from Washington.
Let's look it up.
I think he's missed games.
Denzel Boston is 6'4",
Yeah.
209 pounds.
That's so
Is Concepcion like a slot guy?
That's a big receiver.
Hey, he's built like David Boston.
And in Concepcion at Texas A&M. I remember this kid from Texas A&M because I watched a few Texas games this year. Like Texas A&M games. Concepcion's 5'11".
Yeah.
And
he's smaller, but he's not small.
He's one of those, what they call human joystick with incredible throttle control, change of direction and spatial field.
I just feel like
freshman kid from Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah. I like Concepcion.
That's what I was looking for is that guy. Yeah, to replace Hill, who, he's a little bit on the smaller side, but he could absolutely fly. And, he just injuries, whatever. So I agree. Concepcion is who I'm going with.
All right.
Done.
Yeah. The interesting thing about him is why did he not run the 40? If he's got this speed, why did he not run the 40 in testing?
Oh, agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the only red flag. But the pick here, because I think that matches.
I mean, he's under a 4.5 unless he had some sort of injury. But yeah, I don't like it. That's like the kid from Penn State, the running back that refused to run it. He was already projected to be a high 4.5s, and then he didn't run it. You're like, okay, this dude's popping like a mid 4.6s or something, even though he's a big bruising running back.
Yeah,
I have a feeling I know where this next pick is going. The New England Patriots. They have a need for a wide receiver. We've been talking a little bit about a couple of wide receivers here. But at pick 31, Brent, where are the New England Patriots going?
Yeah, the value here is too much for the Patriots to pass on.
Wow.
Patriots need defensive tackle and a defensive end edge player, and the value there is too great for them to pass
I'd
on.
argue that based on the Super Bowl, they need like offensive line too, but that's just
Mhm.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
at this point,
value
you
of
can get
Woods,
a Hennecker.
Yeah, Woods
as-
is the pick.
Yeah, Peter Woods
And
or
isn't
Max
Woods, isn't
Hennecker.
he? Yeah, and isn't Woods flexible? Like he can move edge. He's kind of like a 3-tech / big defensive end.
Listen, I love
He-
Peter
he's
Woods.
He's
I
not
think
a
if the
true
Lions trade down,
defensive nose tackle.
if Lions trade down, Peter Woods is absolutely a player I would love to have on the Lions. No question.
yeah,
Is that
6'3",
your final pick?
315.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
6'3",
we're here
315.
at the final pick. This is first round Mr. Irrelevant. The world champion Seattle Seahawks would love to have a running back, but unfortunately, there's really not a running back that you can pick at this spot. Let's just be honest. I mean, I think we're looking at the other Notre Dame running back.
I don't even know where the next running back is.
The other Notre Dame running back, probably end of
54.
second round. But I'm going to say the Seattle Seahawks pick Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington, to close out the first round. So let's run it down. Dan, give us the rundown. I clicked it and it told us that our overall draft grade was B-. If that isn't the most Chris Stone draft ever, that I feel like that's my middle name is B-. But Dan, let's run it down.
Now this is Baltimore taking Sadiq.
Yep.
Go ahead. What do you want me to do here?
Let's run it down. Picks 1.
Just give your analysis.
Mendoza. Yeah, that's obviously that's a no-brainer.
Let's just run it down
What's
from
your
1.
draft?
Just keep it up on the screen. Number 1, we've got Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
2, Arvell Reese. 3, Arizona Cardinals, Francis Mayoga. Number 4, Jeremiah Love to the Titans. Carnell Tate to the Giants at 5. Sonny Styles to the Browns at 6. David Bailey to the Commanders at 7. At pick number 8, the New Orleans Saints select Mekhi Lemon. At number 9, Reuben Bain to the Chiefs. At pick number 10, Caleb Downs to the Cincinnati Bengals. At number 11, Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia to the Miami Dolphins. At pick number 12, Mansour Delane to the Dallas Cowboys. At pick number 13, Spencer Fano from the offensive tackle from Utah to the Rams. Pick number 14, tight end from Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq. 15, let's not even try to pronounce Ione, for the guard from Penn State to Tampa Bay. Pick number 16, the pivot of the draft, Ty Simpson to the New York Jets. Pick number 17, your Detroit Lions select Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. At pick number 18, Dylan Thiemann from Oregon. 19, Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. Pick number 20, Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee. Pick number 21 to the Steelers, Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo, the safety. At pick number 22, the Chargers, Keldrick Fault, the edge from Auburn. Pick number 23, Akeem Mesidor. And pick number 24, Caleb Lomu, the offensive tackle from Utah. At pick number 25, Cade McDonald from Ohio State. Pick number 26, C.J. Allen. That had to have been Brent's favorite pick right there, the linebacker from Georgia. At pick number 27, Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver from Indiana. At pick number 28, Jacob Rodriguez. Wow, Jacob Rodriguez. That is the reach of the draft. That's going to be much discussed here on Lions Gray Mains. Linebacker from Texas Tech. Thought the Lions could get him in the second round. Pick number 29, Avion Terrell, a cornerback from Clemson. Pick number 30, Casey Concepcion. Can't believe he dropped that far, wide receiver from Texas A&M. 31, Peter Woods from Clemson to the Patriots. And pick number 32, Denzel Boston from Washington to the Seattle Seahawks. Guys, a lot of wide receivers.
I seem to recall Jahmyr Gibbs being the reach of the draft a few years ago, and it worked out pretty well for him.
I don't know who said that. That wasn't us.
Oh yeah.
And that's 6 wide
We
receivers in
got a
round
B
one.
in the draft. You remember because of Jameer Gibbs. The Lions reached for him, but anyway.
Guys, I got to tell you, like going through this draft, and so this is good. If you've hung around with us and you've watched and you've listened thus far, thank you for that. But I will tell you what I've learned, and I'm going to pass it along really quickly to you guys. And let's just really quickly sort of going through this process, with actual humans who are Lions fans, who are ball fans like we are. I'm going to tell you, first and foremost, I think the trade down thing is something that I thought, whatever. But as I got late in the draft, I'm like, how is this guy here? How is this guy here? How is this guy here? So I am starting to get more bullish on the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes saying, hey, if I can get this pick and I can get this pick, I'm going to come down. That's my learning. Dan, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I posted it on the greatmans.com. I did a mock draft the other day on Saturday, I think it was. And I took 2 trade downs. I traded first with Carolina, and then I traded a second time with the Steelers to get down to 21, and I still was able to get Caden Proctor. And I ended up moving basically 2 fifth round picks up to like 2 third-round picks as the offset for that. So there's a lot of good players. If you are happy and content with picking more than one guy, and that's where we're going to be at. There's Brent, you've always said there's about maybe 13, 14 studs. And then the next 30 dudes, they're all are kind of rated the same. It's all about what you need and what are your options. So if the Lions are happy with Mesidor, Lomu, Fanu, whoever's available when you get down into the, I don't know, maybe 16 to 25 range. If you look at that list and you're like, yeah, I can jump up, I can jump back, because there's going to be people looking to go both ways because guys are sliding. I mean, who was the big slider in this draft? So for us, it was probably, I think Freeling went about where he probably would.
Lomu.
Simpson obviously was a huge
Mesidor,
jump
Lomu.
up.
Those ones jump out at me.
Mesidor and Lomu both fell, but there's reason for that. I mean, Mesidor fell because of his age and his arms. Lomu is, I think he went in the right order of the offensive tackles. I mean, you could debate that maybe him or Proctor, but they're different players, right?
Mm-hmm.
After Fano and Mayoga, there's really, and Freeling, those are the top 3 dudes. And then you could it's what you need from your tackle. We need an offensive tackle that's a right tackle, it's a road grader. Because at that point there wasn't a stud left tackle left. And that's what Caden Proctor gave us. But yeah, I was really struggling at this pick here with the Steelers. That would have been a perfect trade down spot because even though I went with the kid from Toledo, that there was somebody that probably would have come up to get Mesidor or Lomu, right?
Yep.
At that point, or Falk even.
Yep.
So, Brent, what do you think?
Yeah, it just further emphasizes the point that we talk about offline, and that is there is so much talent in this draft in the second and third rounds, and the more we could stack up players in those rounds, we could fill multiple positions of need and develop depth in positions even that we're not necessarily weak in. And I do think that if we can add a draft pick or 2 in the second and third rounds, suddenly you're going to see the Lions start to look at those positions where we lost a few games last year not having the availability of our safeties. And yes, we have a handful of safeties, but I don't think we have a starter. we have depth at safety, but we don't have a starter quality player at safety yet. And
I think we have starters, not super studs, though, that we're replacing, right?
But I'm saying, where 3 years ago Dan Campbell said, we had a lot of guys who had a lot of heart, but those players were not the caliber of players that you want to be able to compete for the Super Bowl. And so the reality is that I think we're going to see some draft picks that might surprise some people. And Dan, you've hit on this many times. Linebacker is a position of need, and
Yeah.
there are 5 or 6 really good linebackers in those second and third rounds. As I've done, embarrassing, maybe 100 mock drafts to this point, and so positions
Wow.
that I think we could really use players are going to be right there in those second and third round range.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we have 2 picks in the first 2 rounds, assuming Brad doesn't leverage them to move up or down or wherever. We're gonna come out of this with either an offensive lineman, a defensive end, a linebacker, or a safety, cornerback somewhere. We're gonna get those 2 picks are gonna probably fall within those 4 positions. We're not gonna take a tight end. We're not taking a quarterback. We're not taking a running back. We're not taking likely any specialists. I
Yeah.
mean, very likely. So there's improvement to be had at them. Is there any glaring needs? He has done a pretty good job outside of, DJ Wanham is not reassuring as a capable starter, but he has gotten at least a starting level player at every position except maybe Wanham, Turner. Maybe he's pretending. It's Moneyball. We'll throw 2 dudes at the position to try and get one guy out of it, right? But
Mhm.
the safety position, he's got Eitzine, he just signed Clark, he re-signed Maddox yesterday. Plus you've got Harper. So you've got 4 guys with extensive starting um, skills and starts underneath their belt to back up Branch and Joseph, on top of having the 2 kids, Strickland and Jackson. But again, linebacker, like you said, it's a weak spot. We got Clark and Nowoski backing up Rodriguez, Campbell, and Barnes. So maybe they're going to switch. I saw someone today say, with the signing of bringing Maddox back in yesterday, maybe we're going to spend more time in a 4-2-5, which I think they would prefer. Having that 5th player be kind of a bullet, safety, corner, linebacker hybrid spot, and try and rely just on the 2 backers, so Barnes and Campbell, right? Last year we had to go 3 a lot because our safeties were just decimated, and our 3rd linebacker was better than our, you know, un, unproven safety depth that we had. So he's once again filled out the safeties. He's just smashed the safeties with kids that have starting experience and have games ability. Smashed the interior of the line, offensive line, the same way. He's doing the same thing to these 2 positions he did to linebacker last year. So, he's not done. I don't think by any means. I think we're going to see more guys come in. He had some big defensive tackle in, which is another spot we could actually use some depth at. Could he take Caden McDonald? If he's the best player on the board, maybe he does. I don't know, but I don't think so after taking Tyleik Williams last year, but who knows?
Yeah, Peter Woods, if you draft down or trade down just a couple spaces, you could look at, Cade McDonald, Peter Woods.
Yeah.
And the emphasis that the Lions want to place on being able to stop the run and run the football.
That other edge needs to be a run stopper that we have lacked. I mean, we just have not had a second defensive end. Even the guys that are producing sacks, they just are not run stoppers. They are, they are more pass rush specialists than they are complete edges,
Mhm.
And Davenport, when he was healthy, could provide both, but he sucked last year at run defense, and you saw with AQM 11 sacks, but the dude only played like 20% of the snaps all year because they couldn't trust him in
Mhm.
run situations. So
Yeah, and you look
we,
at the positions in those second and third rounds, the players that rate in those second and third round areas.
yeah,
Linebacker, offensive lineman, linebacker,
I mean,
safety, cornerback, and it just stacks up nicely for us to.
we're,
And you guys said this over the past couple of weeks, trading next year's draft picks to make those kind of moves, I think might be on the table as
yeah,
well.
he has more ammo since the Stafford trade than any other draft, right? Two
Mhm.
fours, 2 5s, 2 6s. He could easily get into the 3rd, but I would not be shocked if someone falls, as we saw today. Chris, you pointed out, you said it about 3 times. I can't believe how many of these guys are still there. I would not be shocked if somebody slips into the mid-teens, that he doesn't package a 4th and a 6th or something along with the 17 to move up to grab somebody. You know, if he thinks they're that good, if they're one of the stud players and they're there, kind of like we did with Terrell, what's his face, the quarterback, Terrion Arnold, 2 years ago, right? I can see him absolutely doing that. Also, I could see him moving back. If the guys aren't there and no one's playing ball, I could see him moving back if somebody wants to move up. Again, you got to have a bunch of guys that you like, and I know he'd like to fill that 3rd spot, that 3rd round draft pick, because he traded away 2 of them last year to take Tesla. So I think he'd like to get that back if he can. So, Chris, what do you think? You've been sitting here listening to us banter back and forth. What about your thoughts?
My thoughts are, we got to end the show, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why I threw it back to you.
Sorry.
That's why I threw it back to you.
Folks, if you made it this far, congratulations. We love you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe, the like buttons, all the stuff that they throw in front of you, because it helps the show. It helps us do what we do and deliver this content to you. We appreciate it. And if, you know, this is full Draft Nerds stuff on display, so you're welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, we love to say before we end the show, go Lions.
Go Lions.
Bust it outside left. Jameer down to the 10. Jameer to the 5. Jameer to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Hand off Berry. Skirts to the left side. Breaks the tackle. And he will take it in. Touchdown!